Hey there, Shawna Karrasch here with another Ask Shawna answer. Now, this question comes to us from Australia. This is from Adam. He says, I'm from Australia and recently bought a Jenny donkey with a 1-month-old foal. The Jenny has a halter on but will not let you too close. I have no idea of her history. Over the last week, she started to eat from her hands through the fence, but when you get in with her, she swings her bum towards you. We have been able to separate them and the foal is friendly and likes a rub. How do I gain the Jenny's trust, please? Alrighty. Well, this is a one of the subjects that's near and dear to my heart, as we also right now, it's a foal. She's a yearling, but she's an untouchable and an extreme untouchable. And she came to us, we were even told, you know, she'd just throw herself into fences. So it's people that have worked with untouchables before, but she was not going to fall into their program at all. So we started working with her and utilizing the food and the positive reinforcement, and we've made great strides with our trust. She will touch us all over the place, but we can't really touch her yet, but that's okay. She's as sweet as they come, and she's making great strides. So I definitely understand, and I've worked with a lot of ferals and severely abused horses and untouchables. So I completely understand, and I appreciate that you are taking the time with her. One of the things I find about donkeys do better when we give them a chance to think. So there's a real tendency for people to think, well, I didn't get a response, I'm going to do it again. I find that it works much better. This is just my own observation. I find that they're rather thoughtful. And so giving them a minute and saying, okay, can we do this? Okay, we'll try again, as opposed to can I? So give them a chance to think a little bit. That's just an aside there for you. Okay, so you're on the right track. Getting her to eat out of your hands is the biggest thing. One of the things I often do, and this gives a lot of choice, I oftentimes will start seated on the ground and having them take food, and when that works well, then I move to standing. I'll even take steps further back where I use a feed tub, and I bring the feed tub closer, and sometimes I've tied a string around it and pulled the strings ever so slowly over weeks, but so that they wouldn't pull it away until eventually I could have my hand in, they'd eat down to my hand, and then eventually I could hold my hand up. Pretty soon they eat from my hand. Pretty soon I'm standing and they'll eat from my hand, or maybe standing back to the bucket and then to the hand. All these little pieces, but you've got her eating from your hand, and that's a really big step. The next thing I suggest you do, and I think this is really an important piece, is it's a way of giving her control. So what I'll do is when they take the food, I'll take a step back. And then when they take the food, I take a step back. When they take the food, I take a step back. So I let them eat the food, but then I back out while they're chewing. So what this does, it gives them a way, because really at this point in time, we are still aversive to them. So I want them to know that they can go away. And I do oftentimes have the same food available somewhere else, but as they're making the choice to be with me and being inquisitive, and when they're younger, they're very inquisitive, so that helps quite a bit. But what I do is I give them that, when they take that, I step away. I take it, I step away, take it, I step away. And what this does quite a bit is it gives them control, and they realize I learn how to make the human go away. And it's not go all the way away, but they can learn that they can get the human to back out of their space a little bit. What do they typically fear? They fear that we're going to rope them, capture them, handle them, manhandle them. If they get caught, things happen that are scary to them. Even though we may think this for your best interest, to them, it is their fear. And I think it's really important to remember their fear is real. That is their reality. We can say, no, it's just my hands. But to them, those hands are going to kill them, so we need to just go, I get it. It's really important to you. So by taking the step back, you're going to give her control, that she can learn how to make the human go away. And then the other part that happens with it, she also learns to pursue you a little bit. So as you take a step, and then she's like, well, I want more food. And she walks up, and I take a step. So she learns to kind of walk and stay with you a bit until you find her without hesitation taking that next step. Then I'll start feeding in place a bit. And when that's going really well, then I feel like that is a time I want to feel like a lot of the aversiveness has gone away. It's still going to be there a bit, because what you do and the things you do It can be for a really, really, really sensitive horse that's had a bad history, like our little gal. You know, she's very curious and she's there and she nickers when I come up, but she wants to stay there, but she's still cautious of all the things that go on that's new in her environment. So it just takes a little bit. But but she's loose. She knows she can go anywhere she wants to. She can go eat if she wants to from someone else, but she chooses to come up and want to work with us. So by giving her and letting her know she has control, and then when I feel like she's right with me and she stays right with me, then I feel like it's time to start the clicker work. Now, where we actually are starting to condition and teach a bridge signal. So now we have a way to start pairing the clicker with the good action so we can draw attention to good decisions. But keep in mind, the sound of the clicker may be a little worrisome at first. So I will put it in a pocket or I'll muffle it. So it's going to be much quieter and it's just a dull sound. Or even in the beginning, I may have somebody do it further off and see how she responds to it and then build from there. Some of them, it's no big deal. For some, it might be. So I think the first place is getting her to learn that she can have you, that you'll back out of her equation and that then she'll start to follow you and you can start to work on the clicker. And then I would start to the target. I would also see if you can't start teaching her a hand target. So calling her name and presenting a target. And as she comes up to touch it, you click and then reinforce. And you touch, click, reinforce. And this is a way that she also gets used to your hands a little bit, but you could also teach a proper target. And again, a new object in her environment is probably going to be quite fearful. So like with our little gal, I had to go back to sitting on the ground with my bucket, actually. So I had my rubber feed tub and I sat back on the ground and I had the target. The target wasn't in my hand. It was sitting on the ground beside me. And as she just looked at it, I would click and reinforce until eventually she's actually touching the target. And then I could hold it in my hand and then I could feed her from my hand. Then I could stand back up. So what I'm also explaining to you is something called context shift. You shift one little piece of her context, of the context of the training that happened, and you may lose criteria. So by bringing in that target, she's like, well, now I can't eat from your hand, because she's worried about that. So everything gets a little worried. So it's okay. I'm fine with that. I anticipate it, and I know we have the steps to get back to it. So sitting it on the ground and building it back up is a great way to go until you're back to where you were and she's trusting the target a little bit. When you're teaching the target, and I have podcasts for, the clicker is the first podcast. The Liberty Leading is the second podcast. The Target is the third podcast. So you can find kind of more detailed lessons. And I actually think I have an Untouchable podcast. Yes, lesson 12 is Rescue and Untouchable. So we can go into some more details there. But remember, each little thing you introduce is new. I took Taz to a new area. She's still not in a halter, but she'll follow me. So I took her out to a new area and she went out there and she wouldn't eat from my hand again. She will now. But the first day she was like, no, I can't trust all that. I'm in this new weird place. That's kind of her adrenaline's all lit up. So I think that's a good place to start. Go listen to episode 12, and I think that'll give you some more information. And you follow us. I have posted some things about Taz, our little Untouchable, on Facebook and on the Terra Nova Training Center site and on my Facebook page. So you can learn and follow along a little bit more. You're going to have more questions as you go along, Adam. I'm sure of it, because you have a whole lot to unpack with your little gal and the baby too. You've got the baby's going to be bold and you're just going to be teaching, or it sounds like she's going to be much more confident, but I definitely give her time and use a positive reinforcement. Another thing I'm going to tell you, if you have positive reinforcement that you're doing with any other horse, I would do the positive reinforcement in front of your little Jenny, because watching another horse, they read their body language. If they're frantic and running around and being chased and displaced and having to do stuff, they're going to read that, and that's not really going to serve you as well as if you have another horse who's like, I love this, I'm great, I'm calm, I'm relaxed, I'm walking. I would do that. I used my old horse Mint around Taz in the beginning so she could see that, boy, he sure likes her. And so our little gal got to see that Minty would follow me and walk with me and eat from my hand and touch the target, and nothing happened to him. So that's another thing you might use. A little vicarious or social learning can oftentimes go a long way. Okay, I just touched the tip of the iceberg, but hopefully it helps you. So if you or anybody else has more questions, which you're gonna, I want you to go back to Ask Shawna, which is on the on my website, which is www.on-target-training.com. So it's on target training with the hyphens in between. You can find my podcast. You can find the Ask Shawna. You can find product. You can find all sorts of things. And if you want to learn more about me and my and who I am, you can go to Terra Nova Training Center. Now, my schedule will be posted there. Find out more about what we're up to and sign up for our newsletter. Anyway, so there you go. That's a little bit more information for you. And I hope this helped you out a bit and is getting you off to the right start. Until next time, enjoy getting your horse on target. Bye-bye.